Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits. Today I'm here to talk about Venus making a transit in the sign of Leo on 14th of September and it is going to stay there till 9th of October. Now during this transit, Venus will come in contact with Ketu. Venus and Ketu are making a conjunction in the sign of Leo, which is causing an affliction on Venus. So this time we have to be extremely careful with regards to matters pertaining to ourselves and our relationships particularly, because till early November Venus is weak and also under certain affliction. Currently Venus will enter Leo wherein it is conjoined with Ketu, it is under affliction. It will also be a part of the upcoming solar eclipse, which is happening in the axis of Virgo Pisces. But since Ketu is involved in this eclipse, sitting in the sign of Leo, so we could expect matters pertaining to relationship and people related matters to be at the center of attention. Till early November, it's not the most ideal time for all these matters because post that Venus will enter Virgo, it's debilitation sign. So next couple of months, there are more reasons for us to be careful with regards to matters related to our personal life. Stay low key, avoid getting involved in any arguments, in any scandals, in any extravagance, in any indulgences, and try to maintain a healthy, balanced life. It is time for you to understand your priorities and really put your priorities at the forefront. Venus is all about interaction between two or more people. Ketu is isolation. So when Ketu makes a conjunction with Venus, where Ketu holds a greater strength, Venus is a Jala Tattva planet, Leo is an Agni Tattva or fiery sign, therefore Venus is not very comfortable in this sign. Now here Ketu has a greater strength and Ketu is like a cut. So it will create a separative tendencies with regards to relationship matters, with regards to the general interaction with other people, whether it is business relationship, whether it is person relationship. People are likely to get into quarrels, arguments, though Jupiter's upcoming transit will be supportive to bring in a sense of optimism over the course of next couple of months. But in terms of managing ourselves and our personal lives over the next couple of months, one has to be extremely careful, and this is the important message that I'd like to bring in through my video on Venus's transit in Leo. Now the result would vary on different ascendant signs based on the lordship of Venus, based on the lordship of Ketu, and how this conjunction is going to play an important role. But matters pertaining to the sign of Leo, wherever it falls in your chart, is going to be sensitive. So will be the sign of Aquarius. The signs ruled by Venus, which is Taurus and Libra, in terms of the ascendant and moon, are quite sensitive over the course of next couple of months. Now at the physical level, you must read this transit from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs. At the physical level, you will only read this transit from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So what is happening here is Venus is now going to enter Leo, where it will come in contact with Ketu. Both of them are making a conjunction. Venus is your second lord and the seventh lord, the one who rules your family, speech, your house of consumption, the Kutumb Bhava, your accumulation, how you store information, and of course it is your storage space. Venus also becomes the seventh lord of the Jaya Bhava, where we see peace and also war. And all kinds of conflict or opposition is also seen from the seventh house. This house represents your spouse, marriage, relationship, business or business partnership is also seen from the seventh house and the seventh lord. Though the seventh lord Venus making a transit in the fifth house is a yoga in transit, alright, but here it will be making a conjunction with the co-eighth lord Ketu. So Venus definitely is under certain affliction. So at the material level, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your material accumulation, your wealth related matters, your income, I do not see much of a concern there. But in terms of the signification related to Venus, which is love, abundance, relationship, harmony, I do see a sense of challenge for you in terms of dealing with personal relationship. Now, from the point of view of learning astrology, it's a very good time, especially if you have a well-disposed sun. So the remedy for you will come from Surya, who is the dispositor of the sign of Leo. Offer water to sun first thing in the morning, each and every day. And if you probably study astrology, Jyotish, or any similar subjects that involve a lot of research, this time period could be favorable for you. Venus will be aspecting the sign of Aquarius, which is your 11th house, by the 7th aspect of desire. So definitely Venus is supporting finances, and Ketu is causing a kind of blockage, but that is more or less having an impact on your relationship with the family, at your home, and also with regards to your business partnership. So this is where you have to be careful. Do not end up getting involved in an argument, or probably you could have a shifting tendencies. Sometimes you might want to move yourself away from a discussion or a debate because you want to probably step away from the situation and you want to run away from the situation. So you will have these escapism or escaping tendencies that you're likely to experience, which could be detrimental towards your relationship. But some friends can play an important role in helping you navigate through these times. Your guru or your mentor could play an important role to help you navigate through these times. Financially, I don't see much of a challenge, but in terms of navigating your personal relationship, definitely it's a challenging time for you. Continue to use mantras related to Surya. A simple mantra, that is Om Grini Surya Aditya, could be absolutely beneficial for you. Offer water to sun, and it will help you channelize these energies. Taurus ascendant signs, or the Taurus moon sign. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So Venus is your lugging lord of the ascendant. It rules your first house and the 6th house. So being the ascendant lord, it is all about yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. It talks about your intelligence, your decision making. Venus also becomes the 6th lord of Rog, Rin, Ripu. Your Shadripus, your weaknesses, particularly of the mind, debts, diseases, health and well-being. So Venus being your ascendant lord, regardless of whatever time period that you're going through, its transit will always have an impact on you. Now Venus is making a transit in the 4th house. So in the 4th house, it does gain directional strength. So there are blessings of Goddess Lakshmi during this time, but Venus is also under affliction from Ketu. And it is in a mutual aspect with Rahu, because Rahu is making a transit in Aquarius, and Rahu has a very strong 7th drishti, the aspect of desire. Both of them are in opposition. Now, Venus and Rahu interestingly share an interesting relationship, because Venus is the guru of Rahu. So Rahu listens to Venus. So you could expect some positive developments when it comes to your job, your work related settings. But for that, you will have to step out of your comfort zone. You might lack self-confidence, because Ketu is going to have a direct impact on your confidence in terms of you being comfortable with external environment where people are involved. So you might want to stay away from getting involved where masses are there, where a lot of people are there. You might want to isolate yourself. Now here, some sort of spiritual discipline at your home is going to be extremely helpful for you. Or you could probably create a sense of mindfulness environment at your home. Some sort of morning routine of yoga, sadhana, meditation could be extremely beneficial. From a remedial point of view, you can also keep a white flower plant indoors at your home during this time, and try to declutter your house. Give away those old things or items that you do not need. Being the 6th lord, making a transit in the 4th house calls for some sort of consistency with regards to your daily routine. So of course, job and work related matters, since Venus is also aspecting the 10th house where transit Rahu is there, work situation is going to significantly improve, but you will have to step out of your comfort zone. You will have to do something that you've never done in the past. Okay, continue to worship Goddess Lakshmi. Use a simple Lakshmi mantra, that is Om Lakshmaya Namah, because you have to look up to Venus. You have to continue to strengthen Venus during this time. Take care of your personal relationship. Take care of your ego, because due to your ego, you could probably get involved in unnecessary quarrels, arguments with people at work and also at home. You could be a lot more moody. So take care of your temperament. As long as you manage your temperament, you will be able to sail through this time, because Venus towards the end of the day does gain directional strength. It is in a powerful position, not the most comfortable sign and not the most comfortable conjunction for Venus, and may you have a blessed time ahead. Gemini ascendant signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Now for the Gemini ascendants, Venus becomes the 5th lord and the 12th lord. Being the 5th lord, it is one of the most important planets for your Lagna. Venus is the only Yoga Karaka or the most favorable planet for Gemini ascendants, even more favorable than the Lagna lord Mercury. Because it's the 5th lord of future, your progress, positional success. It is also your mantresha, whether mantras will work for you or not. So anything and everything to do with your future power position, it is the Rajya Bhava and Venus is responsible. And Venus also becomes the 12th lord of the Vyaya Bhava, your expenditure, your higher self-consciousness, your ability to be more self-aware, your ability to give, your ability to donate. Now this Venus is making a transit in the 3rd house. So 12th lord making a transit in the 3rd house is similar to a Viparita yoga in transit, where circumstances could go adverse. Eventually you have the capacity to rise. Now one thing is quite certain, that for your future pursuits, especially connected to foreign places or lands, you might have to go through some unnecessary, irrelevant paperwork over the course of next few weeks. Maybe next 1.5 months, you will have to go through some unnecessary paperwork, some unnecessary document. There could be some unwarranted travel. There could be some sudden travel that you might undergo, that you might come across. And be careful when you're traveling, take care of your belongings. You could probably develop a health issue or some technical snag while you're traveling, with your gadgets, with your equipments, and of course, take care of yourself, right? Venus's transit in the 3rd house is not the most comfortable position for Venus, because this is the house of desire, the change, all right? Younger siblings, co-borns, your efforts, valor, and Venus has nothing much to do with valor. It is all about harmony. It is about bringing people together. Now, from a communication point of view, you will be focused on building cordial relationship with people. But Ketu is going to create a separative tendency. It is going to bring in some unconventional energies in your communication. So this is where you could have a strong difference of opinion with other people. And it would depend on you how you manage these energies. Whether this difference of opinion leads to a conflict situation, or you're able to influence and convince other people. Now, thankfully, Venus is aspecting your 9th house, where Rahu is also placed. So, Venus and Rahu are in a mutual aspect. Rahu has a respectful relationship with Venus because Venus is the Daitya Guru. So, Rahu listens to Venus. And Rahu is your co-9th lord. So your bhagya or fortune is being supportive. So any adverse situation or circumstances that you might face over the course of next few weeks, you should be able to overcome it. You must journal, particularly write about gratitude. See, Venus is Shukra, so he represents gratitude. So if you write about gratitude, pen down those things that you're grateful of, that itself is a remedy. Use your hands in anything that you do, exercise, work out, work in the kitchen, and of course, anything that you do where your hands are involved, you will be able to channelize these energies. Use mantra-based remedies that are going to be working wonderfully for you over the course of next few weeks, because Venus represents mantras in your case. And I wish you the very best. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Now, Venus Shukra is moving out of Cancer, where it has been making a transit in your Lagna, and now entering your 2nd house on 14th of September, and it is going to stay there till 9th of October. Venus in your case becomes the 4th lord and the 11th lord. So more of a neutral planet. Being the 4th lord, it rules your Sukh Bhav, the house that brings happiness, comforts in life, your assets, vehicles, home, property, your mother, and the 11th lord of income or the Aya Bhava, material comforts, material gains. It is also the house of illusion. It is also the house of fulfillment. Now Shukra is making a transit in the 2nd house. So being the 11th lord making a transit in the 2nd house, it is creating a Dhan Yoga in transit. Being conjoined with Ketu, who is your co-5th lord, it is even powerful Dhan Yoga. So from a financial standpoint, it is a favorable transit because 4th house lord, 5th house lord and the 11th house lord are making a connection with the 2nd house. So it creates a very powerful Dhan Yoga. By your own efforts, by the support of your family, by the support of your people, your income is likely to increase over the next few weeks, all right? But this will come with certain terms and conditions because you will have to step out of your comfort zone if you were to create a secondary source of income or if you were to have some financial gains. You also need to particularly take care of your health and well-being, because that has to be the number one priority. Venus is going to be in a mutual aspect with Rahu. So your 2-8 axis has this impact. See, being the 11th lord, it has the capacity to bring health related issues, unnecessary competition, unnecessary enemies and stronger enemies. And being aspected by Rahu, it is, amplifying the effect. So this is where you have to be careful. Take care of your health, your vitality, your immunity. You could have some issues. These issues could be related to your food, what you consume. So be very careful of what you eat. You might want to experience, you might want to indulge yourself, but this is where stick to home cooked food and try to stay and have healthy eating habits. You could have unnecessary changes. Sudden events could occur in your life where relationship matters are involved, where your friends are involved. There could be conflict situation, but you should be able to come out of these situations, because Venus is towards the end of the day trying to protect the 8th house matters, to protect you from any adversity. Now thankfully your ascendant will be in Shubha Yoga. So you will still have the capacity to make the right decisions, because Jupiter is in the 12th house and Venus is in the 2nd house. So your ascendant is hemmed between two benefics. So you will still have the capacity to make good decisions, but by the virtue of, if there are any decisions pertaining to your assets, your home, property, real estate, vehicles, maybe not the most ideal time. You could have some expense that you might incur related to your vehicle. There could be a technical snag or an issue. Get your vehicles checked. Take care of your real estate related matters and all the paperwork that are involved. Financial gains are inevitable. They are likely there, but not the most important time for you to make investments. So that is something which should be avoided over the course of next few weeks, and my best wishes to you. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this transit from the ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So Venus is moving out of your 12th house and now entering your ascendant, your Lagna, where it will be conjoined with Ketu. So there's a 2 planetary conjunction. Venus is conjoined with the Chaya Graha, south node of the moon, Ketu, and it will be in a mutual aspect with Rahu. Rahu is making a transit in your 7th house, where it gains directional strength, or it is Digbali. It is extremely powerful. Shukra in your case is the 10th lord and also the 3rd lord. So being the 10th lord, it holds an important lordship. It represents your Karya Bhava, your Karma Bhava, your actions, your profession, your job, your duty, what you do to survive and sustain yourself in this world, and your professional success, your progress in life. Also the 3rd lord of efforts, your valor, courage, change, communication, your siblings. Venus making a transit in the ascendant. In the ascendant, Venus is considered auspicious from a transit point of view. It is forming a yoga. So next few weeks, one thing is quite assured, that any efforts that you put with regards to your work, with regards to your professional endeavors, you are likely to see some sort of success, because Ketu will also support. Ketu is your co-4th lord. So Ketu is also in a yoga, Venus is also in a yoga. 2 of your quadrant lords are making a transit in the ascendant, which is a trinal house, right? And this time period will also protect you from any unexpected losses, unexpected increase of expenditure. You will reduce your expenditure. You would be very mindful of your savings, of your investment. This could bring in new projects, new interesting assignments. You need to leverage the power of your relationship at work and elevate the qualities of Venus. Do not isolate yourself. It is time for you to come out in the open. It is time for you to bring in some extroverted energies. Even if you're not comfortable with it, try to adapt with the situation, because you have the capacity to leverage from your relationship and make the most of this beneficial time period. Your siblings could play an important role. So if you have a sibling, you would probably fix the relationship, or he or she may reach out to you to take support from you, and you will be there for them. Venus is bringing a sense of poise. So you'll be very cautious when you talk to others, when you speak to others, the way you dress up, the way you carry yourself. And Ketu's conjunction might also, probably incline you towards buying torn clothes, torn jeans, rugged clothes, and you might want to probably go for a complete change in your appearance or maybe significant changes in your wardrobe by including some new clothes. Venus and Rahu are in the mutual aspect. Venus is aspecting your 7th house. So it is somehow protecting your relationship momentarily. So you can get support from your spouse, support from your partner. In case you're looking forward to stepping into a new relationship, this time period could be supportive for you. This time period could bring some beneficial results. But be careful of illusion when it comes to your personal relationship, when it comes to your workplace relationships as well. This is where you have to be cautious. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Venus is moving out of Cancer and now going to be entering the sign of Leo, where it will be conjoined with Ketu. So it is under certain affliction for the next few weeks, and thereafter it will also enter Virgo, which is its debilitation sign. But that time it will be in your ascendant. It will give different kind of results. In the current transit from 14th of September till 9th of October, it will be in your 12th house conjoined with Ketu. Now, Ketu does well in the 12th house for spiritual matters because Ketu is a very non-materialistic graha and Venus is a Rajas graha. So, a Rajas and a Tamas graha coming in a very pure Sattvic sign of Leo in the 12th house is a mix of conflicting energies. Venus is the 2nd and the 9th lord in your case. So, it plays a very important role in financial matters because these two houses are the Lakshmi Bhava. Second house is a Dhan Bhava, where we see your family, your consumption, your food, what you accumulate, also your storage space. And the 9th house is your Bhagya Bhava. Your fortune is seen from this house. Long journeys, higher education, spiritual education, your father, your lineage is seen from the 9th house and its lord. Venus gets exalted in Pisces, which is the natural 12th sign. So it feels comfortable in this house because this house represents Lord Vishnu's feet. So one thing that you have to take care of from a remedial point of view, keep your feet clean, hygienic. Maybe go for a pedicure. This could be a good time period for you. Now, your Lord of Bhagya and Dhan Bhava has gone into the Vyaya Bhava. So your expenses are going to be on a higher side. Now this will be beyond your control, beyond your capacity because Venus is also in a mutual aspect with Rahu. You could expense at the reason for your expenditure could be other people. It could be your enemies, it could be your friends as well. You might want to socialize and sometimes you could go over the board. So you have to be extremely careful while dealing with your finances during this time. From a spiritual point of view, it is a good transit. So spiritually you could have some progress, spiritually you could grow, spiritually you could prosper as well. Because Venus is making a 7th aspect on your 6th house. So if you include some spiritual practices in your daily life, this could act as a good remedy for you. You must use a Dwadash Akshari Vishnu mantra, that is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, in order to channelize these mixed complex energies and conflicting energies in the 12th house. Now, family matters do need attention. There could be a conflict situation with your family, there could be a conflict situation with your father as well. So this is one time where you have to be careful. There could be an unnecessary travel, but for those people who are looking forward to relocating from their home country, traveling outside of their home country, over the course of next couple of months, this could be a favorable time period for you. Now you must remember that when expenses increase, so does the income. And during this time, your 11th house is under a Shubh Yoga because there is Jupiter in the 10th house, there is Venus in the 12th house. So your income somehow is being supportive and your sources of income. So you need not worry about any sort of job threat or any unfortunate circumstances which are probably building up at your workplace. Things could get better at the job front and of course you will feel more stable. But continue to increase your sadhana, your spiritual practice in order to sail through these energies. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So Venus, your Lagna lord, lord of the ascendant, and it also becomes the 8th lord of transformation, suddenness in life. Being the lord of the ascendant, whenever Venus will make a transit, it will have an impact on you regardless of the dasha, antardasha or the time period that you are running through. It rules yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. It is about your intelligence. It is your brain power. It is all about knowledge and where knowledge comes from and how you use your knowledge, most importantly. Venus also becomes the 8th lord of longevity, suddenness in life, sudden ups and downs, changes in life, and of course your weaknesses, because we see Nijadosh from the 8th house. Now Shukra is making a transit in the 11th house where it will be conjoined with Ketu. So Venus itself is forming a Dhan Yoga during this time. Ketu is your co-second lord. It co-rules the sign of Scorpio. So it is also forming a Dhan Yoga. So financially, it is not a bad time period for you. And with regards to matters pertaining to your work, you will see some sense of stability. But you have to be careful with your decision making, because this time period could bring adverse situation, could bring in a sense of suddenness, and these matters will be mostly related to you. You have to take care of your health, you have to take care of your vitality. There could be some hospital visit, there could be some unnecessary irrelevant issue that might crop up. So make sure that you keep full control of your lifestyle. Now financially, it is not a bad time period for you. Especially your 10th house is going to be under Shubh Yoga by the virtue of Venus sitting in the 11th house and Jupiter sitting in the 9th house. So your work and job is under good protection, which means you can probably get some incentive or a bonus or a rise in your income. Venus is also in a mutual aspect with the Rahu, who is making a transit in your 5th house. So you might have challenges with regards to being consistent with your mantra based remedies or with mantras, because there is some sense of obstruction that is there, right? But Rahu is your co-5th lord, and Rahu shares a respectful relationship with Venus because Venus is the Daitya Guru. So Venus is supporting you to plan ahead of the time and take care of your progress and take things in your own hands when it comes to your future. Independent thinking and independent decision making is the way forward, but the next 4 weeks you would lack self-confidence. This is something which you need to build most importantly. You would probably have a lot of uncertainty going on in your mind, and things will not be very clear. There would be a sense of fear. So your inner fears is something which you have to really overcome in order to sail through this time. There could be some conflict situation with your friends that you might come across. So be very careful while dealing with your friends, while probably getting into any unnecessary debate or argument, because this could be probably detrimental towards your friendships and relationships. So it will probably cut some ties permanently. So this is where you have to be extremely careful. Look up to Lord Shiva, use a Panchakshari mantra, that is Namah Shivaya, in order to sail through this time. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this transit from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So Venus, Shukra, is now going to be entering your 10th house of the Karya Bhava. Your actions, your profession, your duty, your job, your business, your work. The house that plays a very important role in work and whether you will succeed in terms of your workplace. Venus is your 7th lord and the 12th lord. So it plays a very important role in relationship, in business related matters, because 7th house, we see marketplace is seen from the 7th house. Businesses are seen from the 7th house. This house, businesses are seen from the 7th house. This house also represents your spouse. 12th lord is the lord of expenditure. The Vyaya Bhava, your ability to help others, your ability to donate. It represents your higher self-consciousness, your ability to be more self-aware. Now, being the 7th lord making a transit in the 10th house, Venus does well in the 10th house, being a Kendra house, and he is also one of the significators of the 10th house, because we see relationships at work in the job from Venus. So this is where it typically does well, and during this time it is conjoined with Ketu. Ketu is the co-ruler of your Lagna, your ascendant, also making a transit in the 10th house. So please expect some breakthrough development at workplace. There could be a sudden decision, a sudden shift. It could be a good shift, it could be a bad shift. That will depend on your ongoing dasha, antardasha, pratantadasha. This time period could lead to some politics, some conflict situation with your co-workers, with your bosses. Expect some authority issues because Surya will also be moving out of the 10th house and entering your 11th house. But your fortune is going to be favorable. So fortune will somehow protect you because your Bhagya Bhava is under good protection during this time. It is under Shubh Yoga by the virtue of Venus and Jupiter. But yes, this time period, it will make you step out of your comfort zone, take care of some new work, certain projects that you've never done in the past. There could be some unnecessary travel, there could be some unnecessary or erratic working hours. You might have to work a little bit extra, a little bit more than what you probably feel, and this could cause a detrimental effect on your personal life. So you have to really manage your personal life and your mindfulness. Venus will be in a mutual aspect with Rahu. Rahu sitting in your 4th house, enabling you to, pushing you out of your comfort zone. And this is where Venus desires you to set your priorities straight. If you take the unnecessary load, you cannot do anything about the situation. So it is best for you to have a very clear conversation with regards to the work that you will be managing, right? Now you have to take care of your health and vitality as well. There could be some issues with regards to your health and well-being because your 4-10 axis is active. 4th house is your heart chakra. So please take care of what you eat and also your lifestyle if you were to navigate this time. Make sure that you declutter your workspace, you keep it clean and tidy. It should be well presentable if you were to channelize these energies, and I wish you the very best. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon sign. At the physical level, you will read this transit from the ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So what is happening? Venus, Shukra, is now going to be entering your 9th house. So finally it is moving out of your 8th house and now entering your Bhagya Bhava, your 9th house, where it will be conjoined with Ketu till 9th of October. Now Venus is under certain affliction and Ketu is your court 12th lord, making a transit in the 9th house, which supports dharma, which supports spiritual progress, spiritual evolution, because both these houses play a very important role. 9th house we see spiritual education from, and 12th house we see your spiritual practice from, or your ability to be very committed to spiritual practices. Venus is not the most ideal graha for you. It is a potent malefic because it's your 6th lord and the 11th lord. So it is the one who creates enemies, bigger enemies. 6th house of debts, diseases, your health and well-being, competition, enemies. 11th house, which is the 6th from the 6th house, bigger enemies are seen from the 11th house. It is also the Aya Bhava, your income, material gains or comforts. Now planets making a transit in the 11th house do give very good results. For example, Mars making a transit in the 11th house will give good results, but the 11th lord is a potent malefic. Now if it is under affliction from Ketu, it is a blessing for you because it will reduce the enmity. It will help you overcome competition. It will help you travel with any unnecessary burden or any pressures. It will make it seamless because it is making Venus weak or under some affliction. So its malefic, tendencies, being the function malefic in your case, will also reduce to a great extent. Now Venus and Ketu's transit in the 9th house calls for a greater focus on protecting your dharma, because if you protect your dharma, your fortune will elevate. Go for some education. Education that could be of spiritual in nature. If you don't have spiritual pursuits, then go for education that could support your finances, that could support your work, which is related to the mundane world, because Venus represents all the mundane level practical education here. You have to be careful with regards to navigating your relationships in daily life, because this is where, particularly your marriage, because this is the 3rd house from your 7th house, which represents communication with your spouse. So there could be a conflict. Things are going to be sensitive for you in this matter. Please continue to strengthen your Lagna Lord Jupiter. At least this time period you are safe from any unforeseen event or any suddenness in life, because your 8th house is under great protection of Shubh Yoga by the virtue of Jupiter and Venus, because it is hemmed between these two benefics. So continue to increase your spiritual practice, your spiritual sadhana, and continue to strengthen your Lagna Lord Jupiter. Use a simple Guru mantra, that is Om Guruve Namah. And time period is slightly sensitive for personal relationship, and may this help you navigate through these times. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So Venus is entering Leo on 14th of September. It is going to stay there till 9th of October. Venus or Shukra for you is a very important planet because it is your 5th lord and the 10th lord. So it is a Yoga Karaka, the most favorable planet for Capricorn ascendants, because these two houses are the Rajya Bhavas, the houses of progress, success, rise, status, power, position. 5th house is the house of mantras, your future, your children, positional success. It is also the house of corruption, because with power comes corruption. Being the 10th lord, it represents your work, your actions, your profession, your duty, what you will do to survive and sustain yourself in this world. Venus is making an extraordinary, unusual transit in the 8th house, where it will be conjoined with Ketu. So it is under affliction. 8th house though is a fall position, but Venus has the power and knowledge of Mrit Sanjeevani by the blessings of Lord Shiva. So it does feel comfortable in the 8th house. So it is giving you good protection with regards to matters pertaining to your health and well-being, and to overcome your weaknesses. But Ketu's affliction, Ketu is your co-11th lord. It is a potent malefic. This is going to have a detrimental impact on your work. So momentarily for the next few weeks, you have to be careful of your work, of your job, and any decisions related to your workplace. Any new beginnings, if it's not absolutely necessary for you, could be avoided. Probably the best time to avoid any new start, new beginnings, new line of work, unless it's essential for you. Stepping into new projects, unless you're probably forced into a situation, you could expect some sudden changes at your workplace, maybe change in the leadership, change in your line manager, and some unpleasant, uncomfortable changes that you could expect over the course of next few weeks. You have to really take care of yourself. Now, it's a connection between the 5th lord making a transit in the 8th house, which does give you the capacity to learn subjects that involve a lot of research. So Jyotish, astrology, you could probably deep dive into these ancient sciences. You have the capacity to do very good research, because both Venus and Ketu support this. Venus is going to be the mutual aspect with Rahu. So your 8-2 axis is pretty much involved. Think before you speak. Avoid unnecessary quarrels, unnecessary arguments, particularly with people at work. And the work situation could put you off in a manner that you might end up having a quarrel argument with your family members. It is also not the most ideal time to make some important financial decisions. But yes, your partner or spouse can really go out of the way to help you, to support you. Your relationship is likely to prosper over the course of next few weeks. You need not worry about your personal relationship. So your work is going to be challenging, but your personal relationship is going to prosper. Your health and immunity is under good protection. Your 7th house is under Shubh Yoga. So your spouse could have good benefit, some rise in income, or probably new interesting projects, or a change of work, or some sort of progress. Any decisions that you take, make sure that you discuss with your spouse, you take them into consideration and take a collective decision. Use a Ashtakshari Vishnu mantra, that is Om Namo Narayanaya, which will help you sail through this time. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this transit from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. So what is happening? Venus Shukracharya is now entering Leo on 14th of September and is going to stay there till 9th of October. This is in your 7th house. For you, Venus is a Yoga Karaka, or one of the most favorable planets, because it rules the quadrant house and also a trinal house. It is your 4th lord and the 9th lord. Being the 4th lord, it rules your happy space, your comfort space, your home, your assets, vehicles, properties, your possessions, and also the 9th lord of Bhagya, fortune, long journeys, spiritual travel, higher education, spiritual education, your father, your lineage. And Venus has a karma for you for both father as well as mother, because it's the 4th lord and the 9th lord. Therefore, Aquarius ascendants naturally have a karma towards their parents. Now, it will move out of its Maran Karak position finally, and now entering 7th house. And Venus is the significator of the 7th house. It is a good position for Venus, but it is still under affliction with Ketu. But thankfully, this is going to protect your relationship. Any issues that you've been facing with other people with regards to your relationship, those people who are opposite to you, and also with regards to your marital harmony or married life, now is a sense of respite, because this house is under good protection over the course of next few weeks, in spite of it being under some affliction with Ketu. Venus is also involved in a mutual aspect with Rahu. Rahu is making a transit in your ascendant, but Rahu has a good respect for Venus, Venus being the Daitya Guru. Now you must remember that Ketu is the core 10th lord, so you can expect some sudden changes with regards to your work. You will be more focused on building relationship. If you're seeking new employment opportunities, new work opportunities, it is best to leverage the power of your network. At work, you must consciously try to build your personal brand. Try to make your presence felt, because Venus is aspecting your ascendant. So it wants you to be extravagant. At the same time, it wants you to have the power of eloquence. See, if you use this extravagant capabilities in your communication, it is helpful for you. But in your lifestyle, it could be financially troublesome for you. So this is also one thing that you have to remember. This Venus is forming a yoga, and in a mutual aspect with Rahu is going to expand, is going to amplify its capacity. So this is where you can look forward to a sense of respite, because Venus is the Karaka for the 7th house. Of course, it could still create minor issues, minor arguments, but it is giving you a sense of respite over the course of next few weeks. And most importantly, if there were any health issues, now you will see some sort of progress, because your 6th house is in Shubh Yoga over the course of next few weeks, and may you have a blessed time ahead. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. At the physical level, you will read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you will read this from your moon sign. Now, Venus is moving out of your 5th house from the sign of Cancer. Now it is entering Leo on 14th of September, and it is going to stay here till 9th of October. Venus or Shukra for Pisces ascendants is a potent malefic, functional malefic, because it's your 3rd lord and the 8th lord. So it rules 2 of the not so good houses. 3rd house of your valor, change, courage, communication, journeys, Guru Upadesha or blessings or guidance of your mentor. 8th house of suddenness in life, sudden transformation, sudden changes, longevity, ups and downs, your weaknesses, because we see Nija Dosha from the 8th house, debts are also seen from the 8th house. Now the 8th lord Venus making a transit in the 6th house is a Viparit Yoga in transit. Also the 3rd lord making a transit in the 6th house is definitely a Viparit Yoga, which means circumstances will go adverse. Eventually, you will rise off this transit. Now, Venus technically is weak during this time, because 6th house is also a Maran Karak position for Venus. It's a death-like position where it is losing its signification. So momentarily, you will have issues dealing with personal relationship. But if you keep your ego aside, if you have a grounded approach with regards to your relationship, you could expect some fruitful results when it comes to relationship matter. But here, you have to take some sound decisions over the course of next few weeks by the virtue of increasing your confidence, because any obstacles that Venus creates for you, now you will see that probably supporting you, because somehow when Venus is going weak, it is not bringing so much adversities in your life. It is probably bringing a sense of positivity, and at the same time your 6-12 axis is pretty active. It is good for spiritual growth as well, because Venus will be in a mutual aspect with Rahu. You have to take care of your expenditure over the course of next few weeks. Expense on right things, on right deeds. Give donations. Any donations pertaining to Venus or related to Venus must be done during this time. It will support your Bhagya, it will elevate the qualities of Ketu. See, Venus is conjoined with Ketu. Ketu is your core 9th lord. So if you were to elevate your Bhagya, if you were to protect your Dharma, you make donations of sugar, rice, yogurt and any white items. This would be absolutely beneficial for you. use the Vishnu mantra Om Vishnave Namah, which is a Shadakshari or a 6-syllable mantra. Continue to strengthen Jupiter. See, your future is under good protection. You will have some confidence to take future decisions because your Lagna Lord is moving in a good dignity now onwards, and it is going to regulate its pace. Your 5th house is under Shubh Yoga. Your children are under great protection. However, you just have to take care of your personal relationships. So any major decisions pertaining to your personal relationship, it is not the most ideal time. Keep your ego aside and have a very grounded approach in life. So friends, this was yet another unique video on Venus transit in the sign of Leo, where it will be conjoined with Ketu. I hope and believe Venus transit and conjunction with Ketu helps us elevate our spiritual abilities and protect our relationship at all times and at all cost in the next few weeks. Stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.